Your career is like a stock market investment. I'm not saying that your future is dependent on what Donald Trump says sitting in America. Warren Buffett says price is what you pay and value is what you get. You will not immediately get something that you think you deserve to be, right? Things come slowly and steadily, and slow and steady, the tortoise always win the race. Careers compound like great businesses. Okay. A temporary setback does not mean your career is broken, right? It does not mean it is broken. So when you see a stock price falling, it would rise 2x from that low, right? AI has brought many people into thinking like, why, if they would be losing their job, or you can't change the world. You have to change the way the world is changing. In the era of social media, you may see the glorified life of people living in luxury penthouses, getting luxury cars. They are living life to its fullest. This is what you see in the outset, but you don't know the struggles behind that. Right? You may think that someone is progressing way faster than you. Let it be. Let it be. Be happy for it. Let's say I want to open a restaurant business. For me, I would need to firstly learn how to serve people, and then you become a manager. You can't become an owner from the day one. Most people check their salary the same way investors check the stock prices. They get their pay slips every month. They check the numbers in their pay slip and ask themselves, am I doing enough? Am I doing well? Am I lacking behind my competition? Should I be earning more? What are the skills that I do lack? But here's something interesting. In the stock market, as the price of a stock is often completely different from the value of that stock. And the more I think about careers, business, and investing, the more I realize that our careers behave somewhat the same ways. Welcome everyone to another unscripted, unfiltered video where we talk about careers. So today we are going to talk about not just about accounting careers, but careers in general. Whether you are a student, professional, an entrepreneur, or someone who is just starting out. Okay, I think there are few lessons here for everyone. Now, over the past few years, I've spent some time learning and learning about investing and how the stock market works. And recently, one thought really got stuck in my mind. The more I observed businesses, stock prices, and long-term investors, the more I started noticing that there are certain similarities on how our careers work. Now, before anyone says that, I'm not saying that your career is a bad or that your future is dependent on luck. Your future is dependent on what Donald Trump says sitting in America. No, I'm not making your career as a speculation. Okay. But what I'm saying is that there are certain principles from investing that could apply surprisingly to our careers as well. To build a successful career, and once I started connecting these dots, a lot of things have started making sense to me, and maybe it will also make sense to you when you watch the video till the end. Okay, so certain things that I've found, like why some people succeed later in their life than expected, why some talented people remain underpaid for years, and why some professionals keep growing while others become irrelevant in the industry, and why patience is often far more important than most people even realize. So, in this video, I want to share a few observations that completely change the way I think about careers. So, let's start with the observation number one. Price is not equals to the value. As Warren Buffett says, price is what you pay and value is what you get. Okay. So, a stock may be trading at 100 rupees, maybe worth 500. Okay, so this is something that you need to find the potential for. Okay, so let's say a person having experience in their specific field, he is good at communication, he is good at leading people, he's good at anything that you would see someone as a future leader. Okay, but he's worth 500, but the value he's getting is 100, right? There is a gap, but market seems to fill the gap over the time, right? Not quickly. Okay, and there might be cases. So, like if you see ITC, that stock had great fundamentals. It took a good amount of time to realize its true value, right? And finally, when it gave a breakout, it was able to reach its true potential, right? So, for certain people, it takes good amount of time, right? But that is a bit fundamental. It's not like 90-degree increase, right? It is a slow increase but a steady increase. This type of careers stay well during any collapse or an economic collapse or anything, right? Another stock, let's say, maybe trading at 500 and only worth 100. This is what happens when people try to switch their jobs. Like I've seen recently in the internet, people try to switch their job every 6 months, every year, just to get the pay hikes just by saying the numbers, but not saying what they are actually getting to learn and how they could build trust with even one organization, right? So even in a longer term, you can see the chart of Adani, right? What it does is it rises 90-degree once and it goes 100%, 200% in a year or sometime. But when it collapses, that is one of the painful thing that you will be having when you go in. So the market takes time to discover the true value. At the end, you will reach your true potential. So if someone is trading at 500 and it's only worth 100, that person would reach 100 once when the market actually realize, oh, this person has scammed me, right? And the person who brings the true value, right, gets the 500 even slowly and steadily. This is what one needs, right? Consistency and the results and the pay as well as the positions that capital. Careers work the same way. Your salary is not your value. Your value is knowledge, skills, experience. Your value is your ability to manage deadlines, solve problems, and create results. Okay. Many people become discouraged seeing their current potential and what they are getting in return. But markets don't always recognize the potential immediately. It takes time to get into the true value of that stock. So it's similar for the careers. You are not often immediately, you will not immediately get something that you think you deserve to be, right? Things come slowly and steadily, and slow and steady, the tortoise always win the race. Careers compound like great businesses. For this, I would recommend everyone who is watching this video to read a book called Compounding Effect, and you will understand how compounding really works. When investors buy great companies, they are buying future earnings. They know what the company holds in the future. Those earnings grow year after year. That is the power of compounding. Careers exactly are in the same way because every client query you solve, every time when you are able to manage your deadlines, every time you are able to file the accounts, every time you are able to liaise with the authorities, every mistake you make and you learn from it, in the current stance, it may seem a really small thing, but over time, the small things compound over time, and people often look at someone successful and they think that they grew overnight. But what actually they don't see, the small things that he has accumulated over the years. Volatility is not failure. I have seen many stocks experiencing a major fall, major correction. Some of the world's greatest companies have seen their stock price fell dramatically at different points in their time. But over the time they survived. They didn't went to bankruptcy. They continued to grow, right? Careers have volatility too. You might see sites, right, where you are really happy, you get a promotion, you get recognition, but sometimes you are feeling burned out. You might think the work is not what you want to do. You are getting rejected in multiple interviews. You are not able to complete your task. You get criticism from people. So there are periods where you feel stuck. So that time, the mistake people make is that confusing volatility with failure. Okay. A temporary setback does not mean your career is broken, right? It does not mean it is broken. So when you see a stock price falling, it would rise 2x from that low, right? It does not even come to the same level as it was previously before the fall. It gets to a new higher level, right? It gets to the all-time high. So what happens is that setbacks give you the opportunity to rise back even faster, right? So just like a temporary fall in a stock price does not mean business is worthless. Every career has a break-even point. For a business to succeed, it takes about 3 years to spend and invest before it gets to the profitability and a break-even point. Because money goes out before comes in. You have to invest in your education. You have to invest in multiple areas. You have to invest your time. You have to invest your effort, discipline, patience, energy. You have to invest everything before you are able to fetch any return, right? For the starting years, we take a lot of podcasts with people. They have started earning 75 rupees. They've earned 100 rupees, 150. They started their careers with as low as that. But if you see what they are doing in their career right now, you would be amazed to see that they have reached a different high in their life, right? So it's not like that. You would be able to fetch a return just after completing your graduation or even any of the qualification you think. You have to invest some time. You have to give the time to grow. to realize your full potential. You won't be able to get things immediately. You have to sacrifice many things. So many people, what they do is they quit their work, whatever the task they are doing, either business or either job. They quit when the point while they are reaching the point before the investments start paying off. Okay, so it takes time. You have to stay invested in market. If you are thinking about longer term, you have to stay invested in market about 5 to 10 years. If you have conducted a detailed and thorough research on a stock, you must have any suggestion, or you might be having a good business analysis, so that have made you understand that over 5 or 10 years, despite the conditions in the shorter period of time, in 5 or 10 years, the business is to grow, and there is no other option than to not grow. Okay, so takes time to reach at the break even point, but don't lose your hope until you get it, and stay confident as always. Adapt or become irrelevant. This is something you can also relate to in recent times. So let me give you an example. Xerox was one of the most influential technology of that time. Many of its ideas were shaping the future technology. It had shaped modern personal computing, and that came from all of their researchers. The technology was ahead of their time, but despite having brilliant innovation, Xerox struggled because management thought that what has been continuing in the past would also continue in the future, right? But that turned out to be different because they were making money from photocopiers and assumed that thing would continue forever. They underestimated how quietly technology were changing, right? You don't know you will be in market in the next few years, but they still were doing the same thing that would continue in the future as well. But you don't know what would happen in future. You have to be ready for the future. You have to make preparation for the future. You can't stay in the market forever doing the same thing. You have to adapt, right? This is a mistake many professionals make. We are good at, so let's say I become good at doing a particular task. Then I become comfortable. I'm earning from that skill. I think I should be doing the same thing over my life. That thing would be valuable forever. But markets don't reward comfort, right? They reward challenges. Today, as you can see, AI has brought many people into thinking like, why, if they would be losing their job or something, right? But instead of complaining the negatives of AI and and it is like bad thing, or like that, criticizing the owners of those products, GPT and Claude, you need to adapt. You can't change the world. You have to change the way the world is changing, right? So tomorrow, let's say there might be another technology which you will fear even more than AI. Okay. So the question is not what the tool is coming and what the change is coming. The question is whether you are ready, or you are ready to collapse like Xerox as they become worthless when it lacked innovation. Okay. So I would say it struggled because it stopped betting on the future. Similar, I would say, don't make the same mistake in your career as well. Be adaptable, be able to learn anything that someone is teaching you. Okay, don't be rigid in your work. Like I do some things the way I do, and I could not change it, right? You can't. If you can't accept the change, then the world will change you forcefully. Mentors are like long term holdings. In certain point of life, you will meet people who genuinely want to see yourself grow. Okay, so in stocks as well, there are stocks which are fundamentally always great. They grow over time slowly and slowly. So that type of stock I would always want to keep in my portfolio, right? It is a safe asset. It gives me great return. It gives me dividend, right? In the similar way, in your life, mentors play the same role. A great mentor may not increase your salary in a day or tomorrow, right? But they improve your thinking, right? How you think, they challenge your assumptions, they help you grow faster than you would have done it alone. The returns are slow. I know that the returns would be slow. They compound over time. So if you get right people with you in your business, in your job, don't try to run away and try to make job hops, or maybe uh, connecting with other people. Stay with them for a longer period of time. You will realize how they help you grow in your career when 5 or 10 years may pass, and you will look back, you've passed. Next one is market sentiments exist in careers as well. Stock prices are influenced by sentiment. Okay, so sometimes my beloved Ram Chacha says something and Indian market would collapse. So it's same for our careers as well, because great companies even fall despite performing very well. Sometimes average companies become popular in a shorter period of time. Okay. In the era of social media, you may see the glorified life of people living in luxury penthouses, getting luxury cars, driving a Ferrari. They are having dinner at expensive hotels. They are living life to its fullest. This is what you see in the outset, but you don't know the struggles behind that, right? You don't know what this person has actually, or it may be like that that person might not have done anything in their life. They might be getting something from inheritance, right? So you can't compare. This is something that I always emphasized in my earlier video as well. You can't compare your journeys with others, right? Sometimes you may think that someone is progressing way faster than you. Let it be. Let it be. Be happy for it. Be happy for others people's success, and you will also succeed. Okay. You may also wonder if you are into the wrong profession, right? You may be in a self doubt, but temporary sentiments should not change your long term conviction. Focus on improving your fundamentals. The market would eventually recognize your value. Technical expertise creates your value. Another lesson from stock market is that before you start investing, you need to take certain understanding of basics, right? You need to know how stocks work. You can't go into the market in the first day taking 10,000, taking 1 lakh, or even taking 10 lakh if you are rich, and directly put it into the options, right? Into the futures, because if that futures go down, your future will also go down. Okay. You know what I say right now. Okay. So what I want to mean is that you don't need to know everything, but you at least should know the fundamentals of everything. If you are in accounting profession, you should know debits and credits. In the stock market, you should understand the concept like diversification, risk management, or even how basic financial statements could be analyzed, because you can't always depend on what others says. Okay. So if someone gives you a tip that buy this stock, buy that stock, that might come out from certain agenda. Okay, you must know what is right for you. So in the careers as well, you must know the debits and credits at least. Okay, if you are in the accounting career, and for all the careers, you must at least know the basics. For the advanced, you will be able to learn while you are working. Okay, it takes time to get the grasp of some things that are in an advanced level. You can't directly jump into the advanced level before even your first job or your business. When you start out a business, you can't make things perfect from the day one. It takes time to set things up. Okay. The first day you bought the furniture, the next day you got colors, you got painted your shop, and many things happen, right? You can't build a business in a day, right? It takes time to build trust. It takes time to make relationships with people. So in the career, you should know the basics. You should know the basics. Many people try to learn AI and all of those things. They want to become someone senior in their first job because they think that they deserve to be. They want to run a business from the outset, but they ignore the fundamentals, right? So if your debits and credits are weak, if you don't understand what a financial statement is, if your general accounting principles are weak, eventually those gaps will get exposed, right? In the markets, when you get in the markets with even a small pool of money, and you put your money into let's say a penny stock, and that gets crashed, right, without any, because it did not have any fundamental value in it, right? You just purchased it just for its hype, right? So in the careers as well, when a career is in hype, you don't need to directly jump into it. You need to firstly understand what thing will excite you over the course of your life, and over the longer time, you need to understand what you will be happy with when you are working. Okay. So the higher you go, the more pressure gets applied when things get exposed, because you don't know the fundamentals, and pressure reveals weaknesses and foundations. So that's why before chasing complexity, master simplicity. Once you get into simplicity, you apply that simple concepts, and then you get also hold of complex things as well. Before trying to becoming something exceptional in the market, be strong at the fundamental level. Okay, because just like investing, the biggest risk comes out from not what you don't know, but from what you think you know, but actually don't. Career lesson number 9: there are two ways to grow. In the businesses, there are generally two ways to grow. One is through acquisition. You use the capital you have to expand quickly, while the other is through organic growth. Giving an example, say let's say Adani. Adani wants to uh, let's say, wants to get into restaurant business, let's say, okay, they can do it, right? They can do it, but they won't be able to do it completely by themselves. They would acquire a company. They would acquire a company already established in that market because they don't have the expertise, right? They would acquire because they have funds, they have availability of resources via which they can buy, so they don't need to start from the scratch, right? While another business comes to organic growth. Okay, so I start laying out my foundations for a restaurant business. Let's say I want to open a restaurant business. For me, I will need to firstly learn how to serve people, how to cook even. Okay, and then you become a manager. You can't become an owner from the day one, right? So there are two ways of doing it. I'm not saying anything is completely wrong, right? I'm not saying to prefer option A or option B. Okay, it depends on your career. So some people have accelerated growth through capital. They have good connections or they have opportunities that other people don't get access to easily, right? Others spend their time. They take good amount of time to understand and develop their expertise before they jump into any business, right? They see things from the ground level. So again, neither approach is wrong or right, but I guess organic growth is something that creates a long term value and creates a stronger foundation because people trust those who have personally solved problems and earned their experience, not who have directly gained something by acquisitions, right? But I'm not saying anything is wrong. And the final one, stay invested. The biggest return in investing often belongs to people who stay invested for longer time, not for shorter period. Okay, not someone who just constantly jumps from one stock to another, right? Because what is trending? If I buy what is trending, I would be always favoring brokers by helping them to earn brokerage. I would purchase them, and when they go down, I would sell them. And let's say again it goes up, I would go into FOMO. So the cycle continues, and the brokers earn. Right. In the careers, the similar principle apply. People underestimate consistency. They want immediate result. They want immediate success. They want immediate promotions, recognitions. But expertise takes long time. Trust takes time. Building reputation takes time. So the challenge is staying committed long enough for the compounding to become visible. And finally, to wrap things up, just let me give you a final conclusion. If you are feeling discouraged by your salary, your job title, your current position, remember this. Your career is not a one day trading chart, it is a long term investment. Focus less on today's price, focus on increasing your value, and eventually your price will get to the value. Okay. And as the price gets to the value and they finally meet, years of patience, learning, and hard work, consistency suddenly looks like overnight success to others, but you actually know how you have earned it. And your salary is today's price, your skills are your true value. This is what I would say. And in the long run, value always wins. So I think this is what I had to cover in today's video. Maybe if this helped you, you can like this video and maybe you can share it with someone who you think might get help from this video. And along with those concepts that we discussed today, if you have any other concept or logic that you think that relates to stock market, you can always comment down your suggestion. We are always happy to hear from you. So thank you. Stay connected. Stay tuned for more.